Today's speech is not ordinary. It is a direct attack, accusing groups of inciting chaos, obstructing the law, vilifying officers, misleading the public, and hiding the true scope of a national crisis. The language is sharp, emotional, and explosive, and we're going to break down every powerful phrase so you understand it with absolute clarity. Subscribe if you want English lessons that decode real American politics. Now let's begin.
Groups continue to incite violent protests and impede the enforcement of our immigration laws. We will examine how groups, primarily on the left, and even elected officials at the federal, state, and local level continue to vilify immigration enforcement officials who are simply carrying out their duties required under the law. We'll discuss how the mainstream media gaslights the public about the true scope of criminal alien activity in the United States. But first, let me take a moment to remind everyone how we got to this point. President Biden invited millions of unvetted illegal aliens into the United States. Groups continue to incite violent.
Here's the first phrase from the speech: incite violent protests, meaning to incite means to provoke, stir up, or encourage people toward aggressive action. So incite violent protests means pushing people toward violence through speech or influence.
And impede the enforcement of our immigration laws.
Next, here's another phrase from the speech: impede the enforcement, meaning impede means to block or slow down an official process, and enforcement means applying the law. So this phrase means making it difficult for authorities to enforce the law. Context: the speaker says some groups interfere with law enforcement. Example: refusing to cooperate can impede the enforcement of immigration rules.
We will examine how groups, primarily on the left, and even elected officials at the federal, state, and local level continue to vilify immigration enforcement officials who are simply carrying out their duties required under.
Now let's look at the phrase the speaker used: vilify immigration enforcement officials. Meaning, vilify means to attack someone's reputation by portraying them as immoral or evil. So this phrase means speaking about immigration officers in a hostile, unfair way. Context: the speaker says officers are being unfairly demonized. Example: politicians sometimes vilify officers to gain attention from angry voters. Here's the next expression taken directly from the speech: carrying out their duties required under the law. Meaning, carrying out means performing, and duties required under the law means legal responsibilities. So the phrase means officials doing tasks they are legally obligated to perform. Context: he argues officers are simply following the law, not acting on emotion. Example: the officers were carrying out their duties required under the law during the inspection.
We'll discuss how the mainstream media gaslights the public about the true scope of criminal alien activity in the
Let's examine this line from the speech: mainstream media gaslights the public. Meaning, gaslight means to manipulate someone into doubting their own understanding. So this phrase means big news outlets confusing the public about what is true. Context: the speaker accuses major media of misleading people. Example: when headlines twist facts, it gaslights the public into believing something false. Here's another formal phrase used in the speech: true scope of criminal alien activity. Meaning, scope means the full size or extent of something. So this phrase means the real extent of crimes committed by people in the country illegally. Context: the speaker claims the issue is being underreported. Example: official reports often fail to show the true scope of criminal alien activity.
But first, let me take a moment to remind everyone how we got to this point. President Biden invited millions of unvetted illegal aliens into the United States.
And finally, let's break down the phrase the speaker used: unvetted illegal aliens. Meaning, unvetted means not checked or screened. So this phrase refers to people entering the country without background checks. Context: the speaker argues this poses security risks. Example: officers warned that unvetted illegal aliens could include dangerous individuals. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, Subscribe for more lessons explained through real American political speeches.